Welcome back to Melvor Hardcore, Gen 2, Episode 3. Um, I don't really have a whole lot to cover on this one, but I do have a strategy on how I'm going to handle this hardcore run. And this one I want to focus more on completion than necessarily hurrying into the end game. So there's a few reasons for that. The first thing that comes to mind is because I'm now running 3 different characters and the adventure mode is kind of a lot of hands-on. I'm still trying to push my standard account towards completion. I play on there's a web browser version, there's a phone app version, and then there's a Steam version. And in the Steam version, there are achievements you can get. So I'd like to get all of the achievements for this, or maybe not all, but as many as possible. And to get some of the other ones, you have to have all of the masteries, you have to have all of the items, kill all the creatures, find all the pets, all that good stuff. So to get those done, I have a lot of it done in standard, and now I have quite a bit of it done for hardcore. But some of the skill ones, like the attack, strength, attack, defense, ranged magic, those, and maybe Slayer, those never hit high enough to get the achievements to pop. So because I'm floating 3 different accounts now, and I'm working on the standard account, I've got him going into a lot of dungeons, trying to get pets, trying to get the amulets and everything you need to make that big amulet of Zodiac or whatever it's called. Because I'm trying to do a lot of those combat things, just letting it run all day. And because adventure mode has a lot of combat that comes in and out, because you have to keep raising your combat level to, unlock more levels and open up skills. That leaves hardcore kind of in a weird spot where I can do combat with it, but I'd rather idle a bunch of things. And I have a lot of options with idling stuff. Because it's a brand new account, I can do a whole lot. So I'm going to try this for a while and see how this goes. And basically the concept, with the thinking of I need to idle a lot of things in the background. And another issue that I ran into, and this is something to address this also, in the first hardcore run that I did, you can only have so many inventory slots, and you run out of those very quickly. So this is kind of to combat that. And once you get into the dungeon, you start gathering a bunch of stuff. There will be times I have to go in and level up my character or level up something, strength, attack, magic, whatever. But for the most part, you don't really need to go into the dungeons for a long time. Like, you can get all 99s in all your non-combat skills without really touching the dungeons or combat. So that's kind of my goal. And the reason being is I want to use up, I need to be able to save certain things. Like I had that dragon shield. I had to go kill a bunch of dragons. Well, along the way, I'm going to kill dragons, so I may as well grind those out ahead of time. And then when I get the shield, I'm ready to apply it. So I need that inventory space to store a couple of things here and there. And the other side of the coin is, like I said, the masteries and all that kind of thing. So what I'm doing, if you see, I've got the normal trees and the oak trees. They're at mastery of 99. And I'm already I've got 95% mastery XP into this thing here on the bar. So basically I let these run to 99 and then completed them and then switched over to Willow and Teak. But because I've been running above 95% mastery, I now have all of these raised up to, pretty decent levels. I haven't even used any of these yet. Like I don't even, what are we at, 90? I think I can finally chop all the trees. Yeah. I just got redwoods unlocked not long ago. I haven't even cut a magic tree or a redwood tree yet at all. This is just spillover from the extra mastery XP that comes along to this bar. So I've filled these out fairly well, and I don't think I've got any more. I've kind of been keeping everything in here. I got all the way up to U, I guess. Yep. So I didn't do magic or redwood. So basically the premise is going to be this. I have a whole ton of trees chopped down. And by the time I get all these to 99, we're going to have a stack of each kind of tree. So from there, I'm going to go in and work on fire making. because fire making is going to use all of these different trees pretty much. It uses everything. So if I have a nice big fat stack of those, I can just turn it on, let it run. When that stack runs out, there's 160 some thousand. Maybe I could go to just teak and run that for a while because it's the highest XP one, and that's what I'm unlocked to. So maybe that's what I'll do. But basically, what I want to do a couple of things. I want to try and get as much of this mastery stuff done in advance. Some of it's going to get boring, and I'm not going to care about it. Like fishing, I'll probably get up to a point. Cooking, maybe. Mining and smithing aren't too bad because you're going to get a lot of the, you're going to mine a lot, and you're going to smith a lot. But stuff like thieving takes forever. The farming was easy. Some of these lower ones, maybe not so much. Rune crafting because I'll be using magic. But the more I feel like the more I put into this up front and try to get, say, the summoning stuff done at the same time. So I've already got the int done here. I'm going to be working on the mole. I can do the fishing one. And it's not to say that I haven't done any of these other skills. Like I've put time into fishing. Because of the adventure mode, I put time into fishing to get it up to 45 so that the skeleton fish are there. And that way I can raise my strength pretty easily, get a bunch of levels off of that. While I'm working on fishing, I can get the skeleton fish and just push that into strength. So that kind of kills a few birds with one stone. And one of the things that one of the bonuses of being on a standard account is you can have, I think, unlimited storage space in your bank. So you can store as much of this stuff as you want and just keep adding bank slots. Well, you can't do that here. So rather than, and like I said before, rather than trying to get into combat and try to store amulets and store trees and try to work a bunch of things all at the same time, I'm going to push all these skills, the non-combat stuff. We're going to get all that done. Up to 99s, maybe not all the masteries, but I want to get enough of this stuff banked that I can, especially like wood cutting goes into fire making, fishing goes into cooking. Cooking benefits from some of the fire making stuff too. So a lot of these top few here cascade into the rest. And, mining goes into rune crafting. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different things that can be done. And then once we start getting some of these done, like the agility stuff may start popping. This obstacle here, this is all wanting combat. But this one here with fire making, once that gets done, or this one here, it's like these two could be pretty easily achieved. These are non-combat. So is this one, I suppose, but that's got a lot of this other to go. But like these two wouldn't be too bad. I can't remember what's after this, but it's very feasible, I think, to get agility all the way up to 99 with just non-combat stuff, I think. So that's kind of how I want to attack this. And I want to use up everything that I get. So to a point, like I know burning normal trees and fire making isn't going to get me very far. But I did run into issues where I would I would sell stuff off because I needed room, and then it'd turn around and I'd need it. So I kind of want to have the ability to just stack things up. So that's why I'm working on wood cutting first, because this is going to roll into fire making. I could probably roll this into fletching also, because we can just make a ton of shafts out of the normal wood. Like you can use any logs for this. And then, of course, the headless arrows, and, of course, we can make some bronze arrows, and that levels up this mining and smithing and all that. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that can be done together and not waste all this stuff. And what I was running into on my first standard account was that I'd have to sell stuff to make room. Oh, I don't have enough. I have enough of that. But I'd have to sell stuff to make room, and then I'd turn around and need to go chop up another, few thousand logs. So I'm kind of broken record here, but rather than having to backtrack, I want to use the bank slots that I have as efficiently as possible to try to knock as much of this out along the way as possible. So wood cutting will be done, then we'll start on fire making. And then once fire making gets up to a decent point, we can start doing the agility stuff and open up some more, and then come back to fire making. So I think there's a lot of benefits here. It's really going to slow this down. Like, this is not going to be a very fast moving. We're not trying to get into combat fast. We're not trying to do anything with any kind of speed, aside from just let these things run. And like I said, this allows me to bounce between my adventure and my main account and kind of go back and forth. Uh, so yeah, that's the strategy for this. That's going to be the foreseeable future. And I may push fishing up a little higher. I'm not sure, just so I can get the cooking going. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, my plan is to go, once this wood cutting's done in like a week or whatever, I'll switch over to fire making and let that go for a week. May need to bring in herb lore and get this up for the, what are those things called? The heat, whatever it is, controlled heat. It's only level 20. So while we're working up farming and this bit here, then I can start working on herb lore and kind of bounce back to fire making, because it makes fire making go better when you can keep the bonfires lit. I don't know. Long-winded way of saying I'm basically just going to let this thing roll on wood cutting for a while until it gets completely done. You can dump a lot of this mastery XP into these and finish them off. And I'm not even at level 90, and I've already got these maxed out, and we're headed along the way. I don't know if these will get maxed out before this hits 90. Maybe it will, or 99, I should say. But I don't know. That's really all I'm going to be doing with hardcore for a little while, and I'll do probably a weekly check-in here and there, just to here's where we're at, here's what things are doing, and maybe the adjustments that have had to been made. Adventure mode, I think I'm going to push more towards the combat side and just keep going on that, and less focus on the non-combat skills, because you have to ratchet all the combat and stuff up. So that is where we are. That's going to do it for this episode. And yeah, I don't really think I have anything more to add for this one. So we will catch you on the next one. Take care.